Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to the last and final session today in the Summer Spice. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me give you a little brief of what the Summer Spice is about. So this is for the first time that I am doing a four-part LinkedIn series during the month of June, and today is the last session. For the first three sessions, we covered different topics. And if you missed any of the sessions before, you can always go back to my profile, click on events, and see the replays there. We cover topics like what works on LinkedIn in 2025, how to design a personal brand that stands out, and how to build thought leadership on LinkedIn through video content. So I am your host, Gunjan. I am basically a LinkedIn coach and ghostwriter. I help coaches, consultants, and CEOs build their thought leadership on LinkedIn through a very story-forward approach, as I call it, the spicy storytelling. And in today's session, we have Joella with us, and we are going to dive more into what packaging your expertise into high-ticket offer looks like. Joella is a coach for is a premium coach for coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs. And she has scaled her business to multi six figures, I guess. And I have actually been working with Joella since almost 1.5 years now as a marketing assistant. And during this time, I have practically attended all of Joella's masterclasses, and there's always something new to learn from her. So it's really good to have her in the hot seat today. And Joella, if you would like to introduce yourself to the audience here today.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here today with you. Yes, I'm Joella, and I help basically premium coaches and consultants, people that either sell high ticket offers or want to sell high ticket offers and scale their businesses through a high ticket business model and work with higher level clients and be more selective with the type of clients you work with and be able to scale your business while also maintaining full control over your schedule and who you choose to work with and sell at basically any price point. My clients generally sell offers from $2,000 up to like 30, $50,000. So it really varies quite a lot. So whatever price point you want to sell at, but it's high ticket offers that I help my clients scale with.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing. Amazing. So during the sessions, I have a few questions prepared for you, Ella. We'll go through that. Or Joella, sorry, I'm still saying it very English way.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's like I hear it. I live in Italy, so like people
yeah,
say Joella here, and then
yeah.
it's Joella in the US and Joella in Sweden. So it's like all of them work.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, but the audience here, feel free to keep the chat active and post your questions. So, I will pick up questions at random and address them to Yuela here during the call as well. So, Yuela, first, let's start with understanding what high ticket offer is. And someone who is new to the coaching business or probably new to
Yeah.
this whole business model, what would you describe a high ticket offer? What
Yes.
are the core ingredients and what are the pricing points for this kind of
Yeah.
offers?
Yeah, so high ticket offer is basically like it's not selling your time, it's not selling your hours, it's not selling one-on-one sessions, it's not selling a coaching package. It's selling a transformation, an experience, taking your client from point A to point B. And there's many different ways you could do that. I mean, sometimes I think people think it's like a coaching program, but that's just one type of high ticket offer. It could be a coaching program, it could be a one-on-one offer. It could be a retreat, it could be a workshop, it could be a course, it could be consulting project, it could be anything, but it's about packaging that offer, going from like selling the value is your time, instead the value is the transformation the client experiences. And the price points can vary. What a high ticket offer is depends on your niche and your target audience, what is considered high ticket in their world. But generally, I say never anything below $2,000. I even prefer $2,500, but never anything below 2,000 is not high ticket. So 2,000 is like the lower end of high ticket. That's a good starting point, but it's generally being able to sell something that has a super high value. So it's not just about selling high for high prices, it's about selling high value. I think sometimes people get too stuck on the prices, but it's about creating VIP experiences. It's about creating huge results, transformations, and increasing the value of what you do. That's really what it's about, not just selling for a high price.
Right, makes sense. So amazing to know. So if it's someone new, like, if it's new to the coaching business, or if they are just new to this whole business model and they want to switch from selling their hours to, selling high ticket offers. So what do you think makes them like ready, in the sense, like what makes
Mm.
someone an expert who can actually start selling
Yes.
transformation instead of hours? Is it like experience, mindset, a combination of other factors? What would you say it entails to, be an
I
expert
think
who can sell high ticket
I
offer?
think
Yeah.
everything you're mentioning, it's a combination. However, I generally say like if you actually don't know anything about your niche and you're brand new, you just woke up and decided you took a course and decided this is what I want to do, maybe like the first step isn't like to sell high ticket offer. You can, but then I would focus more on like creating a really great offer that you sell to people for a lower price and create great results for them so you have proof of concept. So if you don't have any real proof that you have created transformations for people, you don't have expertise in your niche, you don't have any testimonials, like if you don't have any proof, then it's difficult to sell high ticket because it's like why should I invest thousands and thousands of dollars to work with you if you don't know anything about this,
Right.
besides taking a course. But then you could always start with like selling for a lower price and then increase your prices and grow it to a high ticket price. Um, but a lot of it is mindset. I think a lot of people think that they need to do something first, or a lot of people, especially if they sell their time, if there's any consultants listening today, I would say that a lot of consultants believe that you know, they don't know that they can sell a high ticket offer. They think sometimes like, oh, that's for coaches or people that have other business models, and don't understand that if you're a consultant, you currently sell your hours, you can package your offer and remove the hourly part. You can choose what to include in the offer, not just give people what they want, not just people say they want your time and then you give your time. No, you can actually sell an offer that is not time. So that's how a client of mine, for example, sold a $12,000 per month offer that wasn't based in hours and only included the things she actually wanted to do. Um, and that was like, and that's something that she could sell to multiple people actually. So she can easily have a multi six-figure business. Because she just kind of changed her mindset about this and understood like, oh, actually, I don't need to sell my hours and do boring things. Like I can actually shift my business model, package it more like an offer and make it more valuable. And it even ended up being more expensive than the old offer when she sold hours. So like there's like the idea is generally packaging your expertise into an offer and sell it for a high price where you're not forced to execute hours, and the value is not in how much hours you put in, but the transformation. So it's honestly a win-win because the client buys the transformation and they get the result, and you don't have to force yourself to spend so much time on everything. You are just focusing on generating results for your clients. I mean, personally, I think probably that's how all business should be like in general. Um, even with employees and team members and stuff like that. But that's how to think about it from a consultant or a coach perspective.
So if someone who is looking to make that transition now, like, if they're still selling hours this is today, what would you say, like, what is the one thing that they can start implementing right away? Like, I have followed, I knew
Yes.
your journey. You started
Yeah.
as a consultant and now you have
Yes.
moved into high ticket offers. So
Yeah.
how was that journey for you, and what advice do you have for someone who is on the similar path?
So the first thing is kind of asking yourself, like, do I want to continue doing the same things that I'm doing now? And why? Like, is this a short-term solution for my long-term goal? And if so, do I want to stay in the short-term solution so I can get to my long-term goal? Or do I actually want to make a shift in my entire business model and what I do and what I offer? Because for some people, they might feel like they want to do like continue in their current job, their current way of working for a few years, build up capital, and then do something with that capital, right? In the business. So you have to ask yourself, like, what is my long-term goal? Why the heck am I even doing this? Like, do I have a long-term goal with this business model? Or do I actually want to shift into living my purpose, doing what I really want to do. So I was faced with that a few years ago where I was kind of like, either if I want to scale, either I create an agency or I like start selling high ticket programs or high ticket offers that are more scalable. And I truly felt like I had lost passion for the corporate world and working with big brands and helping them sell more products. It felt quite meaningless to me. And I felt more like lit up by working with solopreneurs and helping them. So I made the shift from the corporate world to selling more offers to solopreneurs simply because that was what I wanted to do. Like I didn't have to do that. I could have just continued working with corporations, selling, I don't know, 10, 20K offers, 50, 30K offers to them and scale that way, more of an agency model, but with scalable offers. I could have done that, but I didn't want to do that. So instead, I went into selling offers to solopreneurs. So I think you have to ask yourself when you scale, like, is it like, do you just want to continue doing what you're doing, selling, like working with a few clients every year and not really putting so much effort into scaling, just kind of reshaping your business model into more scalable high ticket? Or do you feel like, you know what, I'm building my future, I'm building a business, I'm this is my life's work? Then maybe you want to go more into following your intuition and your dream and going towards that path. And because like you're going to put a lot of energy and effort and focus on your business when you scale and when you don't just execute hours and you try to stay at like a 10 to 15 to 20K level, but you actually want to scale beyond that. You have to focus more time, less time on working for clients, more time on the marketing and sales aspect. And if in order to do that, like your heart needs to be in it. Otherwise, you're not going to really enjoy the business model, I think. Then it's better to just maybe just execute hours and stay where you are. But if you actually want to grow or you want to scale and you're like very motivated by growth, um, then I really recommend like asking yourself, like, am I walking on the right path or do I want to do something different? And then if you want to do something different, like what I did was I started creating my offer and selling it while I was still a consultant. So I wasn't like leaving it with zero money, nothing, starting from scratch. Like I gave myself like I put a lot of work in to kind of build up capital in my business to be able to know that like all right, I don't really have to I mean, I don't have to work to make a salary for like 6 months or maybe a year even because I had worked so much. So I knew that like I could really make this high ticket offer work without actually worrying about my money. So like in the short term, I put in a lot of work to build up capital to then be able to go all in on my offer. So I did all that at the same time. And then when I stopped consulting and stopped working, like selling my time and selling workshops and all these random things that gave me money but wasn't really leading me to results, um, I had something I wanted to focus on. So I already had 12 clients into my first high ticket offer when I launched it the first time. And then kind of left the corporate world and it started right away with my like coaching programs. And now I also work, I have different types of programs right now. Both shorter ones that are more like help you package a high ticket offer. And then I have group mentorship and advisory space. And I also have one-on-one mentorship and advisory spaces as well. So I kind of work both very closely with my clients and in some instances groups, but I still work very closely with all of my clients, but it's still kind of like scalable offers where I have a business model that can scale to seven figures without like taking that much more of my time, basically. So that's also the benefit of the high ticket business model where you should be able to like look at the numbers and see that, oh yeah, I could scale to multiple six figures or maybe even seven figures. I could, without feeling like my cap is at four clients and 10,000 months, basically. I mean, that's the purpose. So it makes a lot of sense to scale to with high ticket scalable offers when you are at a point where you feel like you're kind of busy and feel like I'm not going to be able to make more money without putting in more time, but I don't have more time. then it's a very, very good point to start selling scalable high ticket offers, but you could do it at any point. I personally wish I had packaged my offers a little bit better earlier in my business, even when I was working with corporations. Um, but yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
I think that's the usual feeling. Like, whenever you start something, it's not like, oh, why did I start? It's always like, I should have done it sooner. So that's,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. You live and you
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, that's true. But I have seen your growth, like it's been like really inspirational for me as well, like how you have grown as a person and as a business. That's really inspiring. And that brings me to
Thank
my
you.
next question, that you always talk about, and I see that you really embody that you speak about not, working from a place of ego, but from growth and being growth driven.
Yeah.
So how has that identity shift been for you in your own journey? And do you think that it is something essential that business owners or someone looking to build their business through high
Mm.
ticket offers should embody?
That's a very, very good question. I love that question. Very smart question. Um, so I think this is what I think. Like, if you are waking up every single morning working from a level, from a perspective of like, I'm just doing this to reach a result, kind of like I'm just in this competition to win, that's it. I think you're set up to fail very quickly because you're working every day for the outcome and not for any other reason. And that's like the easiest way to fail. What I've seen is like the people that um, kind of manage to sustain themselves in their business and grow and scale are not driven by the outcome of it. It's like there could be different motivations. There could be like a higher purpose. There could be just growth for the purpose of growth. Like for me, I'm very, very growth driven to the extent where I'm like, if I grow, if I learn, then I'm happy. Like if I'm just comfortable and just everything is good, but I'm not growing and I'm not expanding, I'm not growing myself, I'm not developing as a person, then that's not good enough for me. It's boring to me. But so then it's like everything, even the challenges, is a win in itself because the purpose is growth. So even if I have a big problem today, yeah, it's gonna feel painful to have that problem, but I know that I'm gonna solve that problem and then I'm gonna have grown from that having solved that problem. So like the goal, I mean, the goal is of course to scale. Like that's what you're doing, you're scaling, you're growing. However, like if you're that's the only purpose, then it's kind of like how will you feel when you get it? Like you'll never really be satisfied. You'll always want to keep going. You'll never be satisfied. And I think it's fine to not be satisfied to the extent where like you always want to continue. But if you can't like love like the everyday and enjoy growing and enjoy the pains, enjoy the failures, enjoy the wins, enjoy everything, then I really wonder if you're going to be able to do this because then everything is just working towards a goal and that's it. And then when you get there, the goal doesn't feel so special. Like it feels good for 10 seconds and then there's the next goal. So then you'll constantly live in a constant dissatisfaction feeling. And I believe that we can like be extremely driven and ambitious and have these big, massive goals, but also like be very satisfied and happy. And like these things can live together if our motivations are pure and we're not motivated from pain, from wanting to prove ourselves because we weren't told by our parents that they love us, so now we are compensating our entire lives to like become successful so people love us. If that's like their motivation, like there needs to be some healing done there, I think, because then like you're never ever going to get that love or satisfaction from your business if that's like the real motivation. So I truly believe in like finding your pure real motivation beyond like I need to perform, I need to be successful, I want to get the validation, which I think even I mean now we're probably going too deep, but like I think majority of business owners are actually driven by the wrong um, motivations.
Mm.
And that's like something to really explore within yourself, because when you do start scaling, otherwise like you're gonna get to a point where maybe you're successful or things are going well, but you're actually extremely dissatisfied, because that's also what I've seen. Like they do get to their goal, but then that's also hard to be successful, because then you have all these clients you need to manage, and then you have more money, and like it's like there are problems there too. If you identify with having, as a person who has a lot of problems, then you're gonna have a lot of problems always. So I believe in like having those two things really live together, like to be extremely ambitious and driven. Like that's for me, that's like and a huge part of me, but it's also a huge part of me to feel like I live in abundance.
Wow. I think striking that blend is like really important, like not just as humans, but also as like business owners. But I love the point where you talk about, your relationships and your past relationships basically coming into the play when you are working as a business owner. And I remember seeing your post where you talk about you're unconsciously repeating your relationship patterns in your business as well. And I think that was really very interesting for me. So how do you think someone can spot those and, shift from that while
Yeah.
going into like a high pricing or high ticket scalable offer?
Yeah, exactly. I said that like everybody, almost everybody like repeats their relationship patterns
Mhm.
inside of their business with clients and with mentors, collaboration, everyone you work with. So anytime like you tend to attract people that like if you tend to be the savior and you tend to attract people into your life, whether that's family, friends, romantic partners, whatever, you're always the savior, always the strong one, always the one who knows everything, always the one that like has a solution for everything. You're going to attract people that are like a little bit more like need you. They feel more maybe like weak, and they feel more like they need someone to save them. Like that's you're going to attract. And it really doesn't matter if you're like a coach or a consultant, because then suddenly you're going to get into this space where like you have extremely demanding clients or people that want to be saved, or they want you to do something for them. And then you're kind of like you're gonna want to be that person because you chose to be the savior. You have to remember, you have chosen this role, you have taken on this role. And in a way, you like it because you like that's what feels most comfortable to you. You've always been the savior, so it feels very comfortable and normal for you to be the savior. But at the same time, you're gonna resent your clients because you actually hate being the savior. Like you're comfortable, but you also hate it. You don't want to be that person. So you're actually gonna like love your clients and your business. So that's why like it's important to ask yourself like if I have any problems with clients, like if I have anything where I don't know, I feel like I keep attracting a certain type of person, or I keep like repeating a pattern with clients, and or people tend to do this that I don't like, whatever. It's like instead of blaming other people, like it's very easy to be like, oh, people are so difficult, or clients are so difficult, or clients are like this. Like ask yourself, like, what is it in me that needs to be this person that they come to? Like instead of blaming other people, it's also the same with like team or people you work with, anyone. Like ask yourself with anyone you work with in your business, like, what is it about me that makes people believe that they can overstep my boundaries? What is it about me that makes people feel like they can call me late at night? Like, what is it about me that makes people so demanding? Like, I think it's so important to take radical responsibility. Like, radical responsibility, I think is so important as an entrepreneur. And kind of like if you find yourself complaining about people, ask yourself more like, okay, wait, I there's something about me here. Like, I need to solve something in me. Because I also saw some patterns inside my own business that when I realized that I actually wanted to solve this part of me, like also outside of my business, like in my personal life, I actually saw naturally things shift in what type of clients I attracted. Like I really just like stopped being um like the person who wants to fix everyone's problems, or the person who is like the strong one and takes care of everyone, or like everyone can come to me for advice. And I stopped being that person in my private life and was like, I'm not going to be that person anymore. Like, I'm not going to take that role. I want equality with everyone that comes into my life. Like, we're going to be equal, not always equal. Like, it's like this, but I want to feel like I see my like-minded person like this. We are like-minded, like we're on the same level, eye to eye. So when I started shifting that in what type of like boundaries and standards I had in my private life, I also automatically noticed like there were different type of people that came into my world as clients as well. Like suddenly like that the business problem disappeared when I like became the person that I wanted to be and stopped being the person that like attracted all these people to me, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. Like, that's really, it's not just, I think, about like, just running a business, but who you are as a person. And I think that it boils down to that, like, eventually, whatever you do in your life. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
We can't separate it. We think we can, but we can't. It's
Hmm.
like it's all together. And that's like why after mentoring so many entrepreneurs and like being like we have very, very deep
Hmm.
conversations and very like vulnerable conversations, like it's very evident to me what like high performing entrepreneurs are motivated by and driven by. And that the truth is like many come from like I mean, some of you might listen to this and be like, yes, many high performers come from a very chaotic background, like childhood also. And it's like we have to ask ourselves, like, am I repeating some things? Am I creating some things in my adult life that I like that is kind of a new version of what I lived in my childhood? Because I would say like 80% of the time it's like this.
That's so true.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's quite
It's very
interesting.
interesting. I like talking about it just because I never hear anyone else talk about it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why aren't people talking about this? Because it's like very evident when you kind of talk to people.
Right. And the funny part is like, when you have these conversations, you see like people agree or they have like kind of opinion on this kind of topics, but generally no one talks about it. So that's good that you're leading those kind of conversations. So interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why people don't talk about it. It's more like for me, I'm the kind of person like I like to see patterns, and then when I see them, I just have to like point them out and kind of see like, does anyone else notice this? Like, because like it's just very fascinating to me. Like very, very
Yeah.
fascinating.
Right, amazing. So you spoke about like, radical responsibility. That of course means like having boundaries with your clients and not being like available every time. So what do you think someone who is building a high ticket offer, they might think like, okay, I need to add more modules, more calls, more of things so
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah. So what do you think someone who is in that mindset can do about it, like when they are designing their high ticket offers?
So what the important thing is like high ticket clients generally are like the easiest to work with. The
Hmm.
higher your prices are, the easier the clients are. Like it's very interesting. Like the less they really need all those extra things that you want to add. And second of all, like it's not about the number of things you add or like in fact, people can get very overwhelmed with too much information, too much calls, too frequent calls, like too many things to consume that like it's all about the quality of what you actually deliver. And personally, like I've invested a lot of money into mentors, coaches, advisors, and things like that. And it's not about how often I can write them. It's not about how many calls we get. It's about the quality of the conversations. So what comes from the quality of the conversations we have? That's based on like the value someone can deliver to me or the insight or the wisdom or like the recommendations or advice they can give me. So like if I can ask a question and someone can answer and I'm like, "Oh, I've never thought of that before." Or like, "Oh, I should do, you know, A instead of B." Then that's maybe like worth the whole investment. Like maybe that one sentence, one thing that somebody told me could be like holy shit, this is why I paid so much. Like, it's not about how many calls, it's not about all the conversations. It could be like a few small things that you're like, thank God I invested in this. Thank God I learned this. Thank God I have this insight now. And like, to me, that's like the high level way of looking at high ticket investments. It's not about like everything that's included, it's about the level of insight that that person can provide you. So that's a big aspect of it. Um, and also the fact that you can easily overwhelm people with too much information. And like, I actually in my first high ticket offer ended up removing, I thought I did like less is more, but I actually ended up removing tons of that things because people thought it was too much or like it was too overwhelming. So less is more because the client also wants to feel like things are progressing and they're moving forward. And that's actually one of the more important things you can include is like help the client understand and see their own growth and see their own progress rather than like bombarding them with tons of things to do or execute or watch. And like, even personally, like, I don't have in my programs, I don't have a lot of like pre-recorded things. I have a platform with pre-recorded things. I have it available, but I'm not really like making it mandatory for people to watch any pre-recorded things or videos or modules because that can actually be very overwhelming. I've also joined those programs where it's like, here we have like 300 hours of content. I recommend you watch it every single day for several hours to grow and learn. And it's like, oh my God. And then I feel really bad when I'm not watching, all those hours. Because what I really just wanted was some feedback.
Mm.
So then I'm like, perfect. I got some personal feedback. That's all I wanted. That's worth the investment. That's it. So I
Right.
think higher ticket clients understand this and don't generally like need you to be available constantly or need to ask everything or need 500 modules or 500 videos. Like that's not really what they're looking for. Like they're looking for quality, not quantity.
Right. But sometimes people also, we have this mental blocks, right? That the pricing might be too high for the clients. So how do you, do you see any kind of patterns or blocks when people transition from that mindset where they think, okay, my value is like, this much to versus like 2K or
Yeah.
3K USD.
Yeah.
So how can they make that transition?
Yeah, but it's like any price you sell at, people will say it's too expensive. And it's all about like, well, would you rather hear that, $500 is too expensive or that $5,000
Mm-hmm.
is expensive? Because you're going to have the exact same experience no matter what you sell. And like selling the lower end offers are going to attract the lower end clients, like the low paying clients that don't really want or can't pay. So then it's like, who do you actually want to speak to? Like, do you want to talk to the people that are going to invest high ticket? And maybe you'll get a lot of no's, but we get a lot of no's in everything. Like you can sell anything
Mm-hmm.
for anything, any price. People will say no, it's too expensive. No, I want to lower that price. Like you'll always get no's. You just have to like practice being rejected, I think. Like just get rejected as much as you can so you don't care anymore. Like it's like you just have to remember that and like and then ask yourself like what is the real problem behind this rejection? Because people like we put too much emotion into rejection and then we're like, oh my God, I was rejected and take it personally. Really, like this is really dangerous because then you're kind of like taking it personally, you're like crying over it, and then you don't really want to do it again, right? Or you think that you need to change your price. You have to ask yourself very honestly, like, what is the reason? What is the problem? Like, is this a marketing problem? Like, were people just not warm enough before they were in the sales meeting with me? Or was the lead like cold and they actually didn't know me? Like maybe that's the problem. Or maybe was it a sales problem? Like you actually didn't really do a good job in the sales meeting with them. Like you actually failed executing the sales meeting. Then that was the problem. Or maybe the offer was not the right offer for them. Maybe the offer wasn't attractive enough. That was the problem. Like you have to understand like what was the real problem? Because if you make it too emotional, then you're not going to see clearly. You have to be able to see clearly. You have to know what is the issue here and be very honest with yourself what the real problem is. Because if you notice, yeah, you know what? My offer was on point. The client really needed it. My marketing is on point. This is a warm lead. But the sales conversation didn't turn into a sale. and maybe you ask for feedback for the person to understand why, then you can make a very honest like conclusion that the reason why this person didn't buy is because I don't have sales skills. So now I need to invest into learning about sales. So then you can make like good decisions instead of turning it into something it's not, which might be like, oh, my offer sucks. Nobody wants to buy this. I'm just gonna like cancel it. Or, yeah, it doesn't work. No, no, no. You have to be very honest with yourself. Otherwise, you're like delusional, right? So, yeah. So I would just try to, yeah, get rejected as much as possible so you don't feel any type of way about it anymore. And then you can actually ask yourself for real what the real problem is and not make up a problem and not make you too emotional.
Uh, right. That's so good to hear. But what about those people who internalize it? Like, they're not being rational about, okay, my sales is not up to the mark or my marketing is not so good. So what is this belief or this blocks that you have seen come up in people when they are trying to sell high ticket offers?
A lot of things, I think. So I'm gonna mention like some of the top ones. I think
Hmm.
the main one is a strong attachment to the outcome, like a strong attachment to like needing that person to buy, or really needing people to buy within 2 weeks, needing all these clients, needing this money, like anything you really, really, really feel desperate for and really, really, really need, you're like sending out a signal that is kind of turning people off. Like your energy is like, I want to take, I want to take, I want to take, instead of I want to give, and I'm detached from the outcome. Like the attachment, I think, is the worst part. And I've seen it in myself as well. 100% a few years ago. Like the more attached I was to the outcome, the less I sold. And then when I like just let go and just, I don't care anymore. I don't want to sell. Like I don't care about this. I'm gonna go on vacation. Suddenly, like everybody's buying everywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I have a record sales month, and I was like, wait, I wasn't even selling. I wasn't trying. So I'm not gonna say the more you try, but the more you try with the intention to like, I want this result, I want this specific outcome. Um, and if I don't get this, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Like, if that's the attitude you have, you need to like go ask yourself if you're doing things for the right reasons, and you need to like work on yourself, because you cannot sell from a perspective of like, I need to sell. I need the reality to live up to my exact
Mhm.
expectations. And if the reality doesn't match my expectations, I'm mad, or I'm disappointed, I'm sad, I'm angry at everyone, and I'm never gonna do this again. Like if that's the attitude, you're not gonna succeed, or you're not gonna like have the energy to grow and scale. Like to have detachment to the outcome and be kind of okay no matter what the outcome is. Because even if the outcome is negative in the sense that like maybe you didn't sell to as many people as you were expecting, you can draw learnings from that and be neutral, see the information that's being presented to you. Like, all right, my launch period was too short. Perfect. Next time what to do. But when you become too emotional about it, you can't see clearly. So, like, getting 5 clients instead of 10 is just a neutral fact. Like, you are making it mean
Mhm.
something, but it's really just a neutral thing. It's very neutral. You got 5 clients instead of 10. You are making it seem like a failure. You are making it seem as something negative, right? Instead, you can just neutrally ask yourself, like, okay, why didn't I get 10 clients? Probably because of ABC, right? And then it can be very normal to like, perfect. I'm gonna shift my strategy. So next time I get more. But like the attachment to the outcome is probably what's going to make you not sell to as many people, because you're kind of desperate for the results. But I also feel like it's a very dangerous game to play,
Mhm.
to like live in a world where you're so attached to the outcome that your literal joy and depression depends on like how much money you're making.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about poverty versus not poverty. Like that's obviously not, we're talking about high ticket offers here. So we're not talking about people being poor. Like we're talking about like if you're allowing like a group failed group program to control how you feel, I think I would really ask myself like, is this the person that I want to be? Do I want to be this person that like needs clients to feel happy and feel content? I mean, I don't want to be that kind of person personally.
Wow, deep. Love it. Love it so much. Uh, so, uh, so it brings me to another blockage. Like we spoke about pricing, but another worry that I think people, consultants or coaches might have is like, what if I don't get the results? Like, so how do you deal with that, and how
Yeah.
do you overcome that kind of fear?
So, um, well, the thing is, you don't know anything. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen in the world. Like, you don't know. We, I mean, we didn't know that USA would bomb Iran a couple
Mhm.
days ago. Like, how are you gonna know anything? You don't know. You're like, but there's this like, we have this like need for false sense of control and certainty when there's actually no certainty. Like we just have the illusion of certainty. So when you were an employee, you had an illusion of certainty. Yeah, I have a secure job, but you actually don't because you could be fired anytime. Like you could be fired. So there's the illusion of certainty that we're all presented with. And we believe that like there's a business model or there's a way to have this certainty or like but like I think we have to accept that that's an illusion and like you're never gonna feel certain or want secure as an entrepreneur. And and the only way to like feel like you know that you're gonna get the results is by genuinely being very, very committed to your business and your goals and and not needing certainty to continue. Like you have an inner trust. You feel trust that I trust myself and my own decisions. I trust that I'm on the right path. I trust my intuition. I trust my ability to know when to stop and when to continue. And I trust that as long as I continue and I'm consistent and I start like noticing like what's working, what's not working, and I keep following that, then I know that I'm going to get to wherever I want to go. I don't know when because I don't have full control. I don't know when, but I know that I'm going to get to where I want to go. That just comes from delusion. That just comes from like I know something that other people don't and nobody knows and nobody can tell me that that's 100% the case or that there's any guarantee or security. Like there's no guarantee and security, but you just have to trust something that doesn't exist. Like you just have to trust something like you trust that you're gonna wake up tomorrow and the sun is gonna come up. Like you trust that you're gonna wake up maybe next week. You probably trust that you're gonna wake up next month as well. But you actually don't know that. So it's kind of the same thing in business. Like you just have to trust that that's what's going to happen, even though it might not. But you have to. Otherwise, like what else are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna try to chase certainty? What like how? How do you achieve certainty? I don't know how.
That's so true. I saw a series lately, and there was this like blind faith they spoke about, and it kind of reminds me of that, like, because without faith and without trust, there's nothing, like, really. So, yeah.
And I think I talked about this with my clients as well,
Okay.
which is like, I think you have followers like from all over
Mm,
probably, but like in Sweden, where we're based,
mm,
there's like people, like, it's a very atheist country. So we're
mm,
never really taught to believe in anything that we don't see and don't know.
mm,
And in other countries, in other parts of the world, like religion is very normal and strong, and
mm,
spirituality is like completely normal. But in Sweden, like we don't really have that in our culture.
mm,
So I think like for us, it can be very unnatural to believe in something that we don't fully see
mm,
or that we don't have a science for or like there's no proof of. Like we
mm,
need to be able to grab something. I think in other cultures, it can be more natural to feel like there's some force outside of you or
mm,
you believe in something outside yourself or you trust fate or
mm,
whatever. And I think that's like very nice in many ways in other cultures that that already exists because it's like you don't have to become spiritual or
Mhm.
believe in anything
Mhm.
outside of yourself in order to believe in yourself and in believe in something that,
Mhm.
the future. Because you believe in things every day. Like I told you, like you believe that you will wake up tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
Like there's tons of things we believe, even though we don't know. But I think that's something that I've thought about, like how it's very interesting that if you come from like a background of like never
Mhm.
believing in anything you don't see, I think that can be a very more anxious way to live than like trusting something outside of
Mhm.
yourself.
Wow, that's interesting. I think, yeah, it's a lot with culture and upbringing, and that really plays a huge part.
Yes.
And yeah, that's true. So interesting. Yeah. So, going back to the offers and the pricing, so I have seen like in your own course, like not your course, your advisory space, Industry Leader Lounge, you have helped clients scale from point 1.2 or 5K to almost 30K offers. So, what are the elements that are needed to to have that kind of transformation, because we're not talking about a small transformation here.
Right.
So yeah, both in terms of like the mindset belief of the service provider as well as the offer itself.
Mm. A lot of it is mindset because it's kind of like you're seeing that the opportunity to do it is already there. Like nothing really needs to change except you need to open your eyes and see that, oh, there's actually a business opportunity here that I haven't seen before. So like a big part of it is like mindset and aligning yourself with like that vision, because it might not even be that you need to change anything in your life or your business except see that the opportunity exists, believe that it's possible to do, and then execute it, actually do it. So very often I see with most business owners, like there's so many like an untapped opportunity within your current business model and your current audience and your current prices and current offers. But there's probably like some kind of block you have that doesn't allow you to see that because you actually maybe don't believe that you could sell for a bigger price. So like you don't even think about the option to sell for a bigger price. Like now last week, I did an event for my clients and we talked about like the idea of just think about 3xing the price of your biggest offer. Like what would that look like? And people started sketching immediately offers that they could actually start selling right now. And someone even had like one day after had a question come in from a client and they actually started discussing this
Mhm.
3x offer. So like I told them like you'll be surprised, but like now that you have thought about this, you have seen the opportunity and you have sketched it down, you're going to see people come in and opportunities come in for you to sell this offer. So sometimes it's just about opening your eyes and like it's kind of like widening your perspective. So a big part of it can actually be learning from other people. Like learning and seeing that there are other paths. There's not just path A, path B, path C, but there's like D, E, F, G, H, kind of expanding your vision, expanding what the opportunities are now. I think I can't remember really what your question was, but that was, yeah, I remember now. So that was like a big picture. Like for my clients, it's like, let's look at where you're at right now. Like it's not just about what could you do if you grow your personal brand and you do this and you do this and you do this. No, it's about like what are the massive shifts you could make now to like, create massive results in your business, like as soon as possible. Because we all could have the long-term vision, work towards that. But like, what's the difference between someone like a client of mine who reached um 10K plus month for her first 10K plus month recently? Like that was a massive jump from where she was before. But like, why did that happen? Well, because she expanded her vision. I taught her some things like how she can sell, like how she can package, she can think about her prices, and she believed in her ability to sell at that level. And then she got to that point. Like, what was the difference? Was it the fact that she increased her lead flow? Was it that she did more marketing? Was it that she did no, she just focused on selling smarter, kind of. So then that makes the big difference between like you were here and now suddenly you're here very fast. And I would argue that almost everyone can make that very fast shift if they actually expanded their vision of what's possible And that is partly mindset and sometimes partly knowledge of what they could do.
Right. And in the beginning, you mentioned like, this high ticket offers is just not like group coaching programs. It could be one-on-one sessions or done for you services. So how would you say like someone can rethink their business model if they provide, for example, done for you services?
Mm, yeah. So a lot of people that come to me, especially if they're consultants, they want to like step more into the advisory role and do less work hands-on. So they kind of don't want to be so operative with clients. They want to do more like admin advice, it's strategic input or like feedback or something like that. And because that's like obviously more scalable than doing like the execution aspect of it. And like of course there's many ways to think about this, but one thing could be like start not with what you want to do or what you want to offer, but start with like what is the transformation I want to help people with. Like that's the number one thing. Don't even think about your prices. Don't even think about what to include. Think about like what do I want to create for people? How do I want to help people? What do I want to create? Like what type of transformation? And then from there, you could start sketching up like what do people need in order to achieve this transformation? And what can I include that's super high value for my clients, but quite easy for me? Like it's extremely high value to have this level of support or help or whatever it could be, but it's actually quite easy or fun for me. So like I've had clients that offer like feedback on copy, for example, like text, and that's super easy for them because it's like they love writing. Editing a text is the easiest thing in the world for them. But for the client, it's like, this is the best, amazing thing I've ever experienced. Like, you open my eyes to something. I'm like, oh my God, you know? And to you, it's like, what? I did this in my sleep. Like, this is the easiest thing in the world. Like, this could be the case for you, for example. Like, this is so easy. What are you talking about? So, what's easy for you could be something that's the highest possible value for someone else. And that's the reason someone chooses to invest high ticket with you, is because, like, you're offering something that's so easy and effortless for you, but like highly valuable to them. So that's like in general extremely good to include stuff like that in your offer. Anything that feels like, you know what, this is the easiest thing in the world. And I also would say, like, think about who your ideal client is, because in general, like if you're hesitating offering a high level of support to your clients, generally it's because like it's not an ideal client. Like working one-on-one with clients, for example, is very easy when it's the right person. And it can be very meaningful and fun and like feel like breathing almost when it's the right person. And you feel like this is perfect match. Like they're asking the exact type of questions I want them to ask. They respect my boundaries. I love helping them. I care about them, like all that stuff. Then it's very easy. So like, don't try to think about like how to avoid supporting like your client because it's so hard or they're so difficult. Like really think about like my ideal client, what could I offer to them that's like easy for me to do and high value for them. I think that's a very good place to start.
Wow. So that also brings me to another question about clients. How do you choose who do you want to work with? I mean, do you have a process that you filter out and you don't work with everyone who says yes to you? What does that process looks like for you?
So intuition is a big part of it. Like intuition, I trust my intuition now after so many years of talking to leads and stuff like that. I've learned I've when the client has been the wrong client, I've always known it before, and just not listen to my intuition. So now I'm like trying to more like actually listen to my intuition. And if I feel excited to work with this person, I feel excited to sell to them, that's a good sign. If there's a part in my body that just feels uneasy, um, that's a bad sign, basically. So I listen to my intuition with clients, and I also like sometimes it also helps me to have some hard rules to follow, to like decide whether is there a certain revenue level they need to be at, do they need to have us be in a certain type of niche or not be in a certain type of niche? Like, should they have already launched their offers or not? Like, sometimes for different offers, I have different hard requirements just because it's like I can get a good intuition with someone and feel like, yeah, you know what, I want to work with them, I want to help them. But then maybe inside the offer, that's not going to be the perfect offer for them, or like really a good offer, because maybe they don't live up to the actual requirements to actually get success from that offer. So sometimes it can be helpful to trust your intuition, but also sometimes to have like hard facts. Like, I know from experience, this is not a good idea. Like, for example, for me in my one-on-one offers, like I don't take on any clients that are new business owners, and generally they need to be above $10,000 per month in revenue to work with me, because my experience is that I work better with those people. I can help them better. It's easier for me to help them. So then it's like that's like a little bit of like hard requirement, just because I know that it's just going to be better for everyone if they're already further along in their business. There are always exceptions to the rule, but those are truly exceptions. That's not the rule. So that's kind of hard requirements that helps you become a little bit more neutral sometimes, and not just go with your gut, and like just because you desperately want to help someone, you love this person, you want to work with them, but then it's like, yeah, but maybe they're not ready. Maybe it's better if they come back to you in like 6 months or a year.
Wow, makes sense, right? So now we're coming to the end of the life. I have one question about like your own journey. So if when you're reflecting back on your own journey, what is it that something that you believe about how ticket high ticket offers when you started out, which completely changed right now in the recent times?
Interesting.
Mm,
So, what did I believe with high ticket offers? I think in the beginning, I had a belief that everybody wants one-on-one time.
mm,
Everybody wants personalized feedback, or everybody wants one-on-one sessions. Everybody wants personal, like, and there is a high value to that, absolutely. And I offer some level of one-on-one in all of my offers just because I feel aligned doing so.
mm,
But I've also sold offers that are don't have one-on-ones. I have like clients that sell offers that don't have any one-on-one support. So it's not accurate that you need to sell one-on-one or like a high level of personalization to everybody just to sell high ticket offers. It's a good thing to add as a way to increase value, but that doesn't mean that you're getting more clients. Like, that's not necessarily the deal breaker. And even in my one-on-one offers, for example, I actually don't offer a lot of one-on-one sessions to my one-on-one clients.
mm,
And people think like, oh, you need to have meetings with your clients every other week. I don't offer that. I offer other types of setups to support them very frequently. For example, Telegram, for example, small groups and stuff like that. I offer one-on-one sessions also, but not so many. And to be honest, not a single person has ever complained about that or has said no because that's not good enough for them. And that's why I'm able to have quite a lot of one-on-one clients without filling up my schedule as well, because I'm not offering that many one-on-one sessions. And that's like a belief I used to have, probably, that you need to have a lot of
mm,
one-on-one sessions, a lot of one-on-one, and that's just not accurate. So it's all about what do the client need in order to get to the result. Like, if I felt like my clients needed more one-on-ones with me, I would add them because I don't want to make my offers worse. Like, if I felt like no, they need more one-on-one, like I would do more one-on-ones. But don't add something that you think increases value but actually doesn't, because it can also be stressful to have too many one-on-one sessions or too much one-on-one, because the people think like, oh my God, I need to use this now, and oh my God, it's adding time to my schedule. I don't want to do meetings all the time. So just focus on like what is taking the client to the
mm.
result.
Right, perfect. So we'll end the session with one last question. What is one spicy tip that you have for the audience today that they can start packaging their expertise into high ticket offers, like starting this week, probably?
Okay, I'm gonna give you then the like kind of the the homework that I did for
Uh,
my clients last week, which is think about like the your highest price. If that's like currently not a packaged offer, but it's like your monthly fee for clients, like based on hours, or if that's like your coaching package for 3 months, or if it's already a packaged offer you have. So to practice the idea of selling high ticket, think about your biggest price and 3x that number. So for example, if you currently have clients that you invoice for $5,000 per month, in 3x that, so it's $15,000 per month, and play around with the idea of like what would an offer like that include? Who would it be for? What kind of transformation would it be? How could I make my offer worth that amount? Because it kind of helps you think bigger, and then you don't have to commit yourself to selling that offer. So it's what I call like back pocket offer. Like you can have it in your back pocket and you can like just like have that 3x offer if someone wants to buy it. But it's just a way for you to like practice thinking bigger and understanding that like if you could even imagine creating a price that's 3x the price, an offer that's 3x the price, why wouldn't you be able to create an offer that's like even lower than that? So it's just about opening up your mind to like, oh, what could I do? How could I sell that kind of offer? How could I make that worth it? Who would buy it? Not asking yourself why they wouldn't buy or why they wouldn't, why it wouldn't work. Like ask yourself, like, how can it work? Yeah,
wow,
that's
I
my
love
tip.
it. Yeah, I think I'm going to practice that for sure. So
Yeah,
interesting.
the 3x,
Yes,
3x.
3x.
Yes, I mean,
Perfect.
I would love to say 10x, but I also want people to feel like it's like something they could grab and hold on to, and it
Mhm.
feels realistic.
Very sick, right. Perfect. Thank you so much for today, Joella. You just learned so
Thank
many
you.
things, and thank you so much for
Awesome.
doing
Thank you
this.
so much. Thank